Greetings. This is A plus Ashley here at the A3C Music Festival. I'm with ATL Hip Hop, and we are going to talk with J Live.
Peace. How's it going?
Everything is going great.
Good to be here.
Great to be here. I know that you're living in Atlanta now, but it's always an exciting time when A3C rolls around.
Oh yeah, they take over the city. I mean, I love how it spreads out pretty much, all the way from Fourth Ward to all over Little Five and everything. But yeah, it's good to be here.
Well, I have been following you ever since your first album, The Best Part, and really got a great pleasure listening to your last album. And one thing I noticed while listening to His Own Self is you seem to really be on a clear personal journey right now with your music and yourself and your business to really try to develop a better version of yourself. This album was really reflective. Can you talk a little bit about where you are in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I guess since the first album, a lot of my music has been, as a solo artist, has been introspective to some degree. I talk about where I'm at as a person. So starting out as a boy to a man, from a student to a teacher, I always say. So, the album was called His Own Self, for two reasons. There was the aspect that it was self-produced, self-mixed, self-mastered and all of that, and with no features. But then, the subject matter, whether it's talking about, my experience just dealing with the whole landscape of police brutality on songs like I Am a Man, or just, having the confidence to not seek others' approval when you make your own decisions, and I just don't, or, the subject matter ranges, it's just various different topics of how you cope and deal.
Now, can you talk a little about how did you actually develop that confidence to go your own path? Because I think as a lot of times everyone, not only artists, but everyone out here in the world, we're all searching for the tools and the skills and the internal mind states to conquer the world on our own terms. But a lot of times confidence is a big barrier to doing that. Can you talk about, as an artist, how you develop that confidence and what are some of the techniques that you use now to reinforce the confidence when it might be lacking or waning?
Well, as an artist, growing up, I've been rapping since I was 12, and it used to be just about going from one rhyme book to the next, and you would find yourself not kicking rhymes from the old book because the new ones are that much better, and you starting to see that kind of self-improvement, from junior high through high school, and then going out and doing shows, and actually putting out records and traveling the world and getting feedback from fans. And, you hear a lot of different stories about how certain songs got people through certain situations. Like I remember one time I was in Chicago, and this woman was telling me how she had like this 2-hour commute, and she used to listen to my album both ways. There's a song called Timeless. Somebody said it got him through some suicidal times. I got a song called The Fourth Third on my second album that just deals with like dating, as Christians would say, out of your yoke when there's like religious conflicts between couples, and a lot of people talk to me about that. So just having all that feedback from the fans, letting me know that the same way I was raised on this music, I have listeners who are being raised on my music. That kind of gives you that, that whatever moment where you can pretty much, you're comfortable in your own skin, and you can. I've always liked to experiment with different styles. I don't usually try to rap, the same way on each song. I don't try to, talk about the same things on each song, but really just branching out and messing with different things and experimenting. And you just find like, all right, you can pretty much do what you want. I have a loyal fan base that's held me down over the years, so
Including me.
thank you. So it gives you that little bit of room to breathe. But it's really just about being comfortable in your own skin.
And when you were making His Own Self, was there one moment where you sort of found that you were facing a lot of adversity and it was impacting your creative process ever?
That's pretty much the whole creative process. For years, I'd say from 2000 to about 2008, a lot of interviews would focus on the story behind The Best Part. Having a record on a major label with like a dream team of producers that was.
Name some of them.
Premier, Prince Paul, Pete Rock, Rap Lover, 88 Keys, DJ Spinner, and then having that record all set to be released as like a major label debut, right before that major label gets eaten, like Little Fish, Big Fish, and the record never comes out, even after it's been released to press. So it's getting bootlegged, and you end up putting it out yourself a couple years later. and just been independent ever since. And it just kind of puts people in that mindset of, how did you get through that? How you still doing this? It's like, well, this is what I do. So when you handle that kind of adversity early in your career adversity isn't really an issue. Like for his own self, the record that came out last year, Around the Sun, it did pretty well with a host of different producers. So for his own self to be self-produced, it's my first time doing a self-produced record since like 2003, and that was an EP. So that, I guess, that was the kind of leap of faith, so to speak. Like, you get a lot of industry cats in your ear saying, all right, make sure you got this on the record, make sure you got that on the record. People, try to focus on features. And it's like, yeah, well, I pretty much, from touring, I know my people, I know my listenership. They're not so much concerned with who produced the record as long as it's dope. And I'm sitting on a ton of beats, and this is my creative outlet, so let me just go ahead and, do the whole record.
Awesome. So this going to be propelling into your next project, which is How Much Does Water Cost?
How much? The album's called How Much Is Water? To a degree, that talks about cost, but it's a little bit deeper than that. But that's like the knee-jerk reaction that I want from people. So like, how much is water? When you go into a restaurant and you look at the wine list and you're like, how much is water? You know what I mean? Or you step up to the bar and you realize their $3 beer is $8. So you're like, how much is water? You know what I'm saying? But I'll go into the meaning behind the album. But yeah, being another self-produced record, but actually this time bringing in a couple of features with the artists that I'm developing and putting out on the label Mortier. So there's a track with Ekandayo, there's a track with Rome Supreme. They're working on their projects right now, which will be produced by me as well. So it's a brave new world, but it's fun.
Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to it, and I'm sure we are too. Can you tell us where people can see you at A3C?
No, I can't do that. I can say this.
Or where you'll be around, what things you're excited to see?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see the Working Class Music Showcase. It's going to be on Thursday nights at 529. I'm looking forward to seeing De La Soul. I've seen them a few times live. I've rocked with them once or twice. That's always a pleasure. I know DJ Revolution has a showcase. I know Mike Eagle is in town. I'm looking forward to seeing him rock. There's just a ton of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much just going to be sifting through the app, driving all over the city, like everybody else.
Just like me. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated, and for sharing your stories and your personal development. This is A+ Ashley with ATL Hip Hop here from A3C, and we want to thank J Live and hope that everyone has a great day.